SWTOR Gaming here, and back at it with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about SWTOR and whether or not it's going to die and eventually be shut down. We all know that the game is going to come to an end sooner or later, because I have seen this with a couple other MMOs and have experienced it once before. So, starting this off with lack of content. Now this has two heads of a quarter, or coin, whatever you want to call it. There's two sides to this matter. That's what I'm trying to say. First off, there is lots of content in SWTOR to a new player. I have over 1,500 hours around that amount of time played in SWTOR altogether across all my characters. You can go in, you can do all the class storylines. You can do a lot of operations, you could do PvP, there's a lot you can do in this game. However, the veteran players who've been playing through since launch, they're having trouble because of the fact that we completely are running out of content to play. I have basically gone to casual mode in SWTOR and I hardly play it anymore because while the content is fun, it's just not, I could have more fun in other games. So the thing is that we're given no new content as new players. Also, the SWTOR formula gets really repetitive. Like, you do the same PvP matches over and over again. You do the same operations every week. There's no variation to that. You just keep on mechanically going through with all these, with all the same things, all the same aspects, and you do that day in and day out, and that's all you do. So, all in all, I think that the repetitiveness is what SWTOR is sadly lacking. They're lacking new, fresh content, and come on, let's look at 4.0. 4.0 came out in October, and it is now February, and they're just now going to be adding in another chapter. You know how long the chapters last? Maybe an hour, maybe less. A lot of people are getting them done in half an hour if they're rushing through. So the thing is that you spend months to get an hour's worth of content out. That shows you guys how little they care about this. And next subject is just no PvP. A huge part of SWTOR's fanbase, not all of it, but quite a considerable amount of their fanbase comes from PvP. Now the thing is that PvP, we've seen one new war zone since the past years. 2 years. It's 2014. The last time we saw a Warzone was in 2014. We saw Quest Hutball. Where's the new? What? You have this massive fan base in PvP, and yet you do not do anything to really support us and how we want to play the game. I think that if BioWare was to add in more PvP content, I think that a lot of people would come back. If they revamped everything, made everything a bit more balanced, if they added in a lot more content, people would come back to the game because there's new content and it's not going to be as repetitive as it is now. So PvP is extremely bolted on. However, PvP in SWTOR is extremely good. Next thing is going to be the bad engine. You guys are using Hero Engine, and I've talked about this in my last talking video where I talk about bad PC games. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead up to the right or the corner, click on the card, and go ahead and watch that. I cite SWTOR because of the fact that they are using the Hero Engine. Hero Engine, if I'm remembering the name right, costs $100 a year to license. That's $100 a year for a multi-million profit, or million, I don't know. They're making big profit now. They're making probably millions of dollars in profit off of this game, and yet they only spend $100 on their engine. Their employees probably make more than this engine their employees probably make more money than this entire engine takes for a year. They probably make that amount of money in like 2 days. They literally are not even trying. They have the resources, they have the money to upgrade their engine, yet they just suck at optimizing the engine. Like, the game would be so much more enjoyable if they would just go for something that was decent. Imagine SWTOR running on Battlefront's engine, which is Frostbite. Or it doesn't even have to be Frostbite. Think of Unreal Engine, that's pretty easy to get a hold of. Rocket League runs off of that and looks freaking amazing. SWTOR runs like absolute crap, and it's 2016, 5 years, 6 years since this game came out, and yet I'm running on a GTX 970, an i7 4790, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and yet I get like 20 FPS in a Warzone. And you guys can go ahead and check my videos. I keep the FPS counter on just to show you guys how badly optimized this game is. It's just pitiful. Just why? Why? It's an MMO. MMOs are fabled for being extremely easy to run and having pretty good graphics. The graphics on SWTOR are there, yet the game just won't run. It's like, people are like, oh, Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight's running smoothly compared to SWTOR. SWTOR is from 2011. Once BioWare, no, it's not even BioWare. It's EA. EA, step up the game, update the engine, give us more content. If we have more content, a better engine, and just you guys giving more of a crap about keeping this game in MMO, I think we'd have a much better, well-rounded game. And again, they're taking the MMO out of SWTOR. What I mean by that is they pretty much made it a single-player experience. A lot of the time you spend in 4.0 is going to be by yourself if you're doing the story missions, and that is just awful. You guys are taking an MMO and you're literally taking MMO out of it. It's an RPG. It's not an MMO RPG. It's an RPG. That's what the story part of it is, at least. You literally go from point A to point B, watch a cutscene, fight a few people in between, yet there's hardly any objectives. They took the grinding out of it. They took out quests in between the story missions inside of 4.0. They just kind of made it less of an MMO and more of a cinematic, like episodic story game, like Half-Life, and what's the other, Life is Strange. Like Half-Life 2, Life is Strange, those are episodic games. And BioWare is making an MMO into an episodic game, which is a pretty bold move, yet it's not really working as well as it should, because they are literally taking the MMO out of SWTOR. They're giving people level 60s. They don't have to level up. Well, I completely support being able to buy a character, yet a lot of these people, they're being roped into the subscriber agreement. Like, okay, I'll get some cool stuff if I stay subscribed. I can get that new episode when it comes out, and yet it's like, BioWare, you're roping these people in, not giving them new content. You refreshed the old contents. It's nice to the same old ops. You guys, you are giving us the content everybody already did. If you were a raider at one point, you have already done all the content in the game, basically. If you've done PvP and raiding, you've done all the content. If you're like me, I've done every single class storyline. I've done most of them twice. I've done a lot of the storylines twice. I've done every single operation. I have done Nightmare level 50s 2-manned. I've done level 55 ops 8-manned in Nightmare mode. And I have done 3 out of 6 or whatever it is in the level 60 ops. And yet when we go to level 65, it's the same old ops that were operations that were in past expansions, yet you still just refresh them. You put them in level 65, which kind of sucks because you basically made it so that you're giving us the content we completed. We don't want that, BioWare. Give us new content. That's just the whole thing. It's sloppy. It's BioWare. You guys, it's just, and they know it's a problem. They know this. Like, if you look at any other MMO, we're getting frequent updates. If we look at Guild Wars, World of Warcraft, all those games, they're getting expansions all the time. Come on, even single player games are getting expansions. Like, look at Dying Light. Dying Light is a zombie parkour survival game, and it's getting an expansion that basically revamps the entire thing, gives it a new map. And they can afford to do that, and they are looking as if they're doing it quite well. Look at Dota. Dota is like, they're getting expansions, they're getting new heroes. I don't even know what I'm really talking about Dota. I can just tell these games are getting much better all around production value and new content, better than what SWTOR is doing, which when it comes down to that, that's what's going to be the downfall of SWTOR. That's Clone Wars Avengers. That was my first ever really PC game that I kind of dove into. That's what its downfall was. They lost focus, They didn't release any content. People either grew out of the game or they just did not enjoy it anymore because they added nothing in. So that's kind of where SWTOR is at this moment. Can they fix it? Yes, they absolutely can. They have the funds, they have the manpower, they most certainly are able to, and there's no real excuse for what the state of the game is right now. So anyway, guys, this has basically been all I wanted to say about this topic. I hope nobody gets really frustrated with me. Anyway, like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, go ahead down into the comments. Tell me what you didn't like about it and how I can improve. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next talking video where I probably will be talking about reasons why SWTOR is succeeding. But anyway, guys, until then, I will be seeing you guys inside the PvP videos, in the comments section, and across social media. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me, and make sure you subscribe for new contents coming every other day if I can get around to it. Anyway, guys, see you guys next time. So, bye-bye.